Coach Mike Krzyzewski, I mean, I think it's safe to say at this point, he's the most influential coach in college basketball. Don't you think right now? I mean, obviously you got
absolutely.
some other ones, Calipari.
No. He's one more.
Don.
He's more legendary. I mean, let's just.
He's the Don. No doubt about it right now. So he, and then one of his former players as well, Jay Bilas, was calling the Illinois-Duke game last night, and he just went off on the NCAA about, them playing these games. I'll read Bilas. Rob G, do we have sound of Krzyzewski? All right, so I'm going to read a little bit of what Bilas said, and then we'll get to
And Bilas has been a big he goes after the NCAA. That's his thing.
He's
college
been a
basketball,
proponent, I believe, of players getting paid for a while,
no
right?
doubt about it.
Yeah.
He's as forthright, Chris, as a guy who makes his living off the NCAA. That's his specialty.
Yep.
He played college basketball. He's a basketball analyst, but he's legit. And I'm just saying
like
it
Jay.
from – you know what I mean? Like a lot of times you're not going to bite that hand, Chris, that feeds you. And if something's wrong, he'll call it out. I appreciate Jay Bilas not being a former athlete, homer, and everything's great in college basketball. He's not that guy.
I second that comment, no doubt about it. Here's what he said last night. We haven't had a national conversation. And, Rob, he said this during the game, during the second half. We haven't had a national conversation about what we should do. What's appropriate. These players, check this out, have essentially been essential workers. They get tested every day. They're not allowed to go home for the Christmas holiday because they wouldn't be able to play when they got back. They'd essentially have to quarantine their team. We've been advised by our government to not travel over the holidays, and yet these players are traveling. So, strong words from Bilas. He said today that he got a lot of texts after making that comment from a lot of coaches around the country who thanked him for saying what's been on their minds. Here's what Coach K said after. Now, keep this in mind. Duke lost last night to Illinois. Yeah, exactly. So keep that. I think Rob may pounce on that after this comment, but here's Coach K.
Look, I just got my butt beat by a lot, so anything I say, someone can say, well, he's saying that because he got his butt beat. And, do I think things should be done a little bit differently? Yeah. I mean, a lot of kids aren't going to be able to go home for Christmas. It's probably a time where they should, for mental health. We're just plowing through this.
All right, Rob,
I'm glad, Chris, that he did talk about getting his butt beat. Like he understands that people are going to look at this and go, yeah, well, you don't have that good of a team, and Zion Williamson is in the NBA, not on Duke anymore. So yeah, I could see why not playing this year or not. But I do believe that he's legit on this. We're asking kids, Chris, who are not paid employees of the school to do an extraordinary thing, which is no holidays with family, traveling around the country in the middle of an pandemic, where numbers are spiking and all kinds of other stuff. This isn't the NBA where you're in a bubble and you're protected and all the other stuff that goes with it. You're asking these players to do a lot. We saw it ravage college football. Hundreds of games, right, at last count. I know more than 100, Rob G. I don't know what the official number is, but have been canceled and just teams ravaged with the COVID. We don't know what the long term is. I don't have a problem with them speaking about it. I do understand why people would push back and just say, yeah, it's easy to say that because you're not expected to win a national championship. But let's be fair, Chris. He's made a 180. How long ago was it, Chris, when he was talking about having a tournament where everybody played so that they can make up the money that they lost from last March Madness?
And he was one of them leading that charge.
He was the one banging the drum about 300 teams in March Madness, and everybody plays. And right? He went from that to where we are now, where he doesn't like the way everything's going. He thinks we should stop. He was one of the guys before the season that said, I don't know if we should even start the season. I know Rick Pitino got a lot of press saying that they shouldn't play.
Right.
But Chris, I think he's on to something, and Jay Bilas and these people, we got to reevaluate this.
That was in August, I believe, when he made those comments about the NCAA tournament with everybody playing. Yeah, I hear you, right? And my approach to this all along has been you got to go with the experts, the doctors. And too many people, I think, aren't listening to the doctors. And I also looked at it this way, Rob. If high school kids and Pop Warner and all that are playing, then I don't see how in the world we keep college players from playing. But they're not – I don't believe they're playing basketball. There may be a case here or there, but I know like here in Jersey they're not playing high school basketball.
So is there high school basketball called off in Jersey? I didn't know that.
Well, they might start – they're talking about maybe January. But right now they're not playing. And so I think all of that weighs in it. Remember, football at least is outside. Basketball is indoors.
That's another one. Indoors, Chris.
Yep.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So I don't mind them trying. And look, Krzyzewski said that the NCAA just cares about the bottom line. And he certainly cares about the bottom line too. That's why he was trying to get them to play the tournament, even if they didn't have a season. The bottom line obviously does have some validity. There's no doubt. But the health of these kids should take precedent. And I also think the constant uncertainty, Rob, of are we playing today? Oh, we think we're playing, then it's canceled right before the game. Or, I think that can rack these kids' brains as well, and even the coaches too. So, it's just a tough situation. And I'll say this too, Rob. We talked about it with football. I got to be honest, I'm just not into college basketball right now because it's same thing as football. You don't know when the team's playing. Games are being called left and right.
Yep.
It's just hard to follow.
And also, Chris, let's be honest. The NCAA botched it. Do you remember after the NBA called the season? They played a game the next day.
Right.
You remember that?
Right.
At Madison
Square
Square Garden.
During halftime.
Right.
At MSG.
Like what are they, like, I don't know. The leadership, I'm questioning it. Like, where are they? That they don't know what Coach K thinks? They don't know what some of the top coaches are saying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, he is right, Bilas, in saying that they're treated like essential workers. And the bottom line that Krzyzewski referred to, guess everybody's making money off that. And I get it. It's not just the people getting rich off of it, but it's just regular workers who need those jobs. So I understand it. But guess who's not making a dime from it? The players.
Right. And
so,
I do have the quote from August, Chris, where it's like talking about the money, like, quote, it produces 98% or more of the money for the NCAA. He's talking about the tournament. We need to have the tournament. We can't have it where 2 years in a row we don't have the NCAA tournament. Make sure you have the tournament. It doesn't make any difference when it is. So this, end quote. This was him back in August on ESPN radio talking about the need to make sure that come hell or high water, they need to have the tournament. And now he's saying this ain't good. No.
Yeah, it's and again, look, I don't mind them trying, but if they found out, hey, this doesn't make sense, it's ridiculous, it's too much strain on the kids, it's not worth it, then that's fine. If he's come to that realization after giving it the old college try, then I'm fine with that. You could wonder, could they do a tournament? Because if they stop playing right now, Rob, when are they going to start up again? They won't start up again anytime until
January, February.
I don't even know if February would be possible because by all, like Dr. Fauci and all these people are saying it's just going to get worse for the next month or so. So when could they start up? And then I don't really like all 300 10 teams or whatever it is being
Well,
in the
that's for the
tournament.
money. You know, that's a money
Right.
grab there. That's all. They just figured, hey, we could put any game on, Chris, and charge CBS the same. You
They're
know what I
following
mean?
boxing. We can put anybody in the ring.
Right.
Speaking of which, did you see, as we head toward the break, Jake Paul, guess who, his latest challenge he sent out? Who he
Who?
wants to fight? LeBron.
What?
And I think he called out Gronkowski too. But he said he wants, let's see who the real king of Ohio is.
LeBron
He
ain't getting
tweeted-
in that ring,
he
I'll tell
tweeted
you that.
Look, man, I
I'm not mad at him.
right.
I'm
if
not
you
mad.
don't box, stay out of the ring.
Stay out of the ring.
Yes. Period. You might be
fought,
tough and
I
all
fought
that,
at the
but
Palace once. I told you that.
You lost, didn't you?
Yeah, I got robbed. There was a decision.
You got robbed. But
got
you were,
robbed.
in fairness, you were fighting another journalist who didn't know how to box either, right?
Right. Terry
So that's-
Foster.
yeah.
And he was 100 pounds more than me. That was the first time I ever.
100?
Yes.
So how many rounds you guys fight?
It was 3 rounds. It was
Three
16,000
3-minute rounds?
Yep. Three
That's
three
a
1
lot,
minute rounds.
right?
Three 1 minute rounds.
3 1-minute rounds.
Yes.
But were you tired? I mean, people
Oh,
don't know.
holding
Did
those
you-
gloves up, and they were oversized gloves. Yes, and
Oh,
and
right,
you
so
know
you
what?
don't get hurt.
Yeah, it was tough. And
So did either of you land any really good blows?
Yeah,
or-
a couple of them, but nobody went down. I wasn't
Right.
going down. And the only reason I wasn't going down is because that mat was filthy, and there's no way I was going to be on that mat.
I used to box in the neighborhood. We used to, me and some kids. I was really into boxing, just watching it and all. So we boxed. But, it's a whole different animal if you in there with somebody that really knows how to box.
Oh, you get lit up.
Yes. It will not be pretty. All right.